Ragman by Walter Wangerin, Jr. I saw a strange sight. Even before the dawn, one Friday morning, I noticed a young man, handsome and strong, walking the alleys of our city. He was pulling an old cart filled with clothes, both bright and new, and he was calling in a clear tenor voice, "Rags! New rags for old. I take tired rags. Rags!" Now this is a wonder, I thought to myself, for the man stood 6'4", and his arms were like tree limbs, hard and muscular, and his eyes flashed intelligence. Could he find no better job than this, to be a ragman in the inner city? I followed him. My curiosity drove me, and I wasn't disappointed. Soon the ragman saw a woman sitting on her back porch. She was sobbing into a handkerchief, sighing and shedding 1,000 tears. Her knees and elbows made a sad X. Her shoulders shook. Her heart was breaking. The ragman stopped his cart, and quietly he walked to the woman. "Give me your rag," he said so gently, "and I'll give you another." He slipped the handkerchief from her eyes. She looked up, and he laid across her palm a linen cloth so clean and new that it shined. She blinked from the gift to the giver. And then as he began to pull his cart again, the ragman did a strange thing. He put her stained handkerchief to his own face, and then he began to weep. And yet she was left without a tear. Rags, rags, new rags for old. The ragman came upon a girl whose head was wrapped in a bandage, whose eyes were empty. Blood soaked her bandage. A single line of blood ran down her cheek. Now the tall ragman looked upon this child with pity, and he drew a lovely yellow bonnet from his cart. "Give me your rag," he said, "and I'll give you mine." The child could only gaze at him while he loosened the bandage and removed it and tied it to his own head. The bonnet he set on hers, and I gasped at what I saw. For with the bandage went the wound. Against his brow it ran a darker, more substantial blood, his own. "Rags, rags," he cried, sobbing and bleeding. "Are you going to work?" he asked a man who leaned against the telephone pole. "Are you crazy?" sneered the other. He pulled away from the pole, revealing he had no arm. "So," said the ragman, "give me your jacket, and I'll give you mine." The one-armed man took off his jacket, and so did the ragman, and I trembled at what I saw, for the ragman's arm stayed at his sleeve, while the other he put on had a good arm, thick as tree limbs, but the ragman had only one. "Go to work," he said. And then he found a drunk lying unconscious beneath an army blanket, an old man hunched, wizened, and sick. He took that blanket and wrapped it round himself, but for the drunk he left new clothes. Now I had to run to keep up with the ragman, though he was weeping uncontrollably, bleeding freely in the forehead, pulling his cart with one arm, stumbling for drunkenness, falling again and again. I wept to see the change in the man. I hurt to see his sorrow. And yet I needed to see where he was going with such haste, perhaps to know what drove him so. The little old ragman, he came to a landfill. He came to the garbage pits. And then I wanted to help him, but I hung back, hiding. He climbed a hill with a tremendous labor. He lay down, and he died. Oh, how I cried to witness that death, because I had come to love the ragman. Every other face had faded in the wonder of this man, and I cherished him, but he died, and I sobbed myself to sleep. I did not know, how could I know, that I slept through Friday night and Saturday night, but then on Sunday morning I was awakened by light, pure, hard, demanding light, slammed against my sour face. Then I looked, and I saw there was the ragman, a scar on his forehead, but alive. and all the rags shined for cleanliness. While I lowered my head, I walked up to the ragman. I told him my name with shame, for I was a sorry figure next to him. Then I took off all my clothes in that place, and I said to him, "Dress me." He dressed me, my Lord. He put new rags on me, and I am a wonder beside him. The ragman, the Christ.